All right, we've already done in practice doing a reload with our rifle back at the house in a dry, safe environment. Now let's bring it out to the range and work on it live fire. So I've set myself up to practice my reloading technique. Now, how fast you do this is going to be dependent on what your situation is. In this nice, relaxed environment on the range, I'm simply just trying to work on the process of doing a nice, clean, efficient reload without necessarily using a whole lot of speed, but just a high degree of efficiency. So I've got my rifle set up so it's ready to reload. I've actually got an empty magazine in the rifle, and we know that the AR-15 bolt is going to lock to the rear on an empty magazine. But I do have a round chambered up. So hopefully when I shoot, the bolt will lock to the rear on an empty magazine, which is pretty typical. At that point, the rifle's letting me know it's out of ammunition and I'm ready to go ahead and execute a reload. So I've got a magazine in my pocket or a pouch. In this case, it's simply in my pocket and it's got bullets in it and it's ready to reload. So I'm just gonna walk through that process live fire. So here we go. All right, rifle's all ready to go. Empty mag of the gun, got a mag ready to reload with. Nice and slow, come up, get a good clean hit, and walk myself through that reload. So here's what it looks like. All right, I fired that shot. I actually felt the rifle act different. I felt that bolt actually lock to the rear instead of manipulate forward. The more you shoot, the more you'll get a sense for the condition of your rifle. So in this case, I fired a shot. You'll see my bolt locked to the rear. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a reload. I always choose to put my rifle on safe when I do the reload. So fingers on the trigger, off the trigger, on safe. At that point, I'm gonna break the rifle down to relax myself a little bit, let gravity help me out here. I'm gonna simply drop the magazine out and pull it out. So let me go through that process. So I fired, finger off the trigger, on safe, bring the rifle down here, press the magazine release as I get that magazine out of there. I'm simply just gonna press the mag release, pull the magazine out, and let that magazine go. So I'll go ahead and get my next magazine. So I'll go ahead and get my full magazine, insert it, give it a tug, and simply put my thumb on the bolt catch and let that bolt go forward and lock into place. Now I can simply mount the rifle and get back up on target and deliver a follow-up shot. So that's the reload. Let's do a couple of them and walk through it together. Here goes, walking through the process. Come up, on fire, pull trigger, finger off the trigger, on safe. Take my magazine out, grab my new magazine, insert and tug, bolt forward, remount the rifle, back up on target, sight, trigger, and a good shot, and that's the process. So that's the reload. You're gonna wanna work through the reload and get good economy of motion, meaning doing the least amount of work necessary to get the rifle loaded back up again. Speed is not necessarily an issue unless your objective is to shoot fast. But I encourage you to get the reload down properly before you work on the speed.